Hello and welcome to For Heaven's Sake, a Seventh Heaven podcast. This is episode 1113, titled Script Number 234, and we are your co-hosts, Lady J.
And T.
How are you, T?
Confused by this title?
I mean, it's so lazy.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it just be called, like, the sex episode or something?
Yeah.
You know? Like, what a dumb way to do that.
Or just say sex.
Or
Done.
just, yeah. I think they have had an episode called Sex before, right?
Damn it.
Didn't they? Am I making that up?
I don't know.
Yeah, now I'm drawing a blank about it. But so I did want to take the time once again to read the IMDb summary for this episode.
Okay.
Written by our favorite person, KGF Vissers. Because it's... I thought the last one was something to behold. But truly, and I mean truly, this is something. Let me hit you with it.
Okay. I'm ready.
While Eric and Lucy sneak off fishing, pretending it's for a church stuff seminar, Kevin must give advice, which he does in scary terms, to poor T-Bone, whose snooty girlfriend Ruthie, in parentheses Ab, uses him to cause jealousy with her sort of ex Mac, who gets himself invited to stay at the Camdens after moving back in town only to find his reuniting parents' condo has only one bedroom, and his best friend and other semi-ex Martin, who gets benched at by his baby son Aaron's unmarried mother Sandy after Mac arranged for them to double date with T-Bone, Margaret, and Jane.
That's one sentence.
It's one sentence. It's wrong.
Uh-huh.
And what?
Okay. Mac was never her ex.
T-Bone doesn't go on the double date with them.
Okay. All right, go on.
And, like, I love the snooty girlfriend comment.
Seriously.
What? Abuses him? What?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. This episode. Where to begin? I'm guessing at the beginning, a very good place to start. Ruthie and T-Bone are on the couch, canoodling.
At 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m., really. It's like, don't you guys have school?
Yeah, seriously. Saturday cartoons.
Ew, really? But they're watching the news, and you can hear the news be like murder and death and politics and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, and Ruthie is like wrapped with attention.
Yeah.
And T-Bone tries to make some moves, and Ruthie's like, it's too early for that.
Yeah.
But then Mac walks in, which... Stop trying to make Mac relevant, people.
Yeah.
Why did Mac all of a sudden make a resurgence on this show?
I don't know.
In the 11th hour? It makes no sense.
Yeah, same. I don't get it.
Mac
His used to be best friend is now becoming the star. Not the star, but...
I mean, he's around.
Yeah.
Mac walks in and Ruthie is spurred to action and immediately jumps T-Bone's bones.
Oh, hey, T-Bone.
Oh, hey, Mac, didn't see you there.
Yeah.
Oops. As she continues to, like, vigorously make out with T-Bone.
Uh-huh.
And vigorous is the right word.
Yeah, it
folks.
is.
I mean, they're so hard going at it. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And
God, it's only 10 a.m. What's wrong with them?
No. I mean, I get it. They're horny little teenagers.
It's too early for that.
Ruthie. I hate that, like, 17-year-old Ruthie's like, it's too early for that. Like, who are you? A grown-up?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
What are you, a grown-up? Oh, I love that. Okay.
So Mac's like, oh, hey, yeah, what's up? Like, I'm back in town. My parents bought a 1-bedroom condo because they're back together.
Yep.
And, like, it's awkward.
Because I can hear them.
Yeah, which, ew. Like, he goes into too much graphic detail with Annie about the
dude.
sexcapades that his parents are embarking on because they're back together now.
Because all I'm thinking is, I'm like, when is he going to shut up?
Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about, though, logistically, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, when they were split up, where was Mac living? Like, because he says, I'm back in town. Where was he?
Wasn't he? Oh, well, oh yeah, I don't know.
It's unclear.
Was he on a sabbatical? I don't know. Was he going to school somewhere else? I don't know.
So, okay, so presumably he was just like living on his own somewhere out of town.
Yeah.
And now that his parents are back together, he's expected to move back in with them, but they only bought a 1-bedroom condo.
Yeah.
Like, if his parents knew he was going to move back in with them, they wouldn't have bought a 1-bedroom condo.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, like, Mac's the one that fucked up here, thinking he's going to move back in with his parents, I guess? Question mark? Which leads me back to, where have you been this whole time? Like, did you just like leave your apartment wherever it was and was like moving back in with the folks? See ya. Like,
damn. So we could have had a Mac show.
Oh yeah, like a spin-off of just the Adventures of Mac.
I love that. The Adventures of Mac.
And all his like stupid Bieber hair.
Yep. And every time he would mention Martin, he would just say, he's like, yeah, my old best friend, or he used to be my best friend, Martin.
Yeah, like my ex best friend.
Yeah. That's how he has to introduce him every single time he brings him up.
Honestly, the way that they talk about each other is as if they were like they were lovers.
Yeah.
Like the way that Mac is so quick to be like my ex-friend.
Yeah. These boys.
So he's back. Ruthie immediately, it's obvious. Like nothing has to be said. The minute he walks in, she's trying to make him jealous.
Yep.
Where is this coming from?
I don't know.
She was never interested in Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, she was for a hot second, but it was always about Martin.
Yeah.
Even when she was like, quote unquote, interested in Mac, it was because she was trying to like get with Martin.
Yeah.
She didn't ever give a shit about Mac.
What if? And I was thinking that she wanted Mac to tell Martin. Let him overhear and say things. I thought that could have been Ruthie's motive.
Totally fair. Except she didn't know that Martin was going to be there that day.
Oh yeah, dude. He showed up in the fucking house and like while Ruthie's like kicking it, in the living room. I think at this point. No.
Okay, so there's so much to unpack. I don't even know how to talk about it without just going linearly, I guess. Whatever.
Okay, fine.
No, what?
No, I mean, the thing is with this episode, my issue is they dance around the subject a lot, or they focus on that subject for a minute too long, where I feel like I want to check out every time.
Yeah.
Sandy, Annie, how many times does she need to catch up and be ahead of them or behind them? Do you get what I mean? Like, how annoying was that? And she's explaining her entire process of getting there.
Yeah, it's true.
It's so bad.
She verbalizes the dots that she's connecting to figure out that Ruthie's thinking about having sex.
Thank you. This fucking episode did this over and over again. I was so tired.
It's true. It's true. No. Yeah, it's bad. It's just bad writing. That's what it comes down to. It always comes back to, on the meta level, it's terrible writing. We know this. It shouldn't be a surprise, and yet we still want it to be good, and then we get disappointed. And I guess that's just, our unfailing spirit.
I know. Anyways, okay, let's go in order, my friend.
We don't have to, though, because what I do think we can just knock out the park or knock out of the way, essentially, is Eric and Lucy are only in this episode for 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
2 of which are the silent scene after the opening credits.
Yeah.
Of them
prepping
their stuff for their fishing trip. I mean, the hilarious business that they have to do silently. He literally takes out the fishing rod, looks at it, and puts it back. She opens the thing of worms and then closes it. He opens his thing of fishing hooks and then closes it. They're just fucking around in the trunk for 2 minutes. What is that for? It's so stupid. It's so bad. It's the worst.
But it is the worst. But again, I think that's a great foreshadowing to tell me how detailed every thought process was going to be in this episode.
It's a really good indicator of the inane level of detail that we get into with this episode.
It was so frustrating. Oh my.
Yeah.
Lucy conning, lying to
Sandy,
Annie,
or to everybody,
Annie and Kevin, and also Eric. But Eric didn't know he was going to be lied to. But then he caught on, and he informed Lucy that he caught on.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
And he's breaking down Lucy's subconscious behavior and her emotions about Sandy and why she's avoiding this conflict.
Even worse, Annie breaks it down to Kevin. Lucy's subconscious behavior patterns regarding Sandy and all of it.
this show.
It's like, you know what's hilarious is like,
so
I didn't
exhausting.
notice it till you just brought it up. That you're so right. It's so inane. Oh my gosh.
I was so tired. Like I passed out halfway through. I said, hold on, I missed half of this.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, essentially Lucy and Eric want to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Because they need to get away from their families for a minute. But more importantly,
Did Lucy always fish?
no, I don't know. Where did fishing come from? Have they ever gone fishing before?
I was like, when
Who
did they
gives a
bond over
shit?
this? Okay, back to,
I love how he has like a hat too, full of like with like all the hooks around it. Like, okay, that is classic. Someone who never fished a day in his life, you know.
this is cool outfit.
So anyway, so we learned that Lucy wants to get the heck out of Dodge because her little teen group
Yeah.
was excited to talk to Sandy once again about her things that she's gone through. And Lucy was just like, you know what? I don't need to be here for this. Like,
Yeah.
she's feeling a lot of like pent up aggression and jealousy towards how much the teen girls are like loving Sandy.
Yeah.
And how interested they are in Sandy over her, you
Yeah.
know? So basically Sandy comes into the parking lot and Lucy's like, here you go be with the teens. We got to go to the church seminar
Yeah.
thing. And so they go and we never see them again in this whole episode. That's really all they have to do the whole episode. It's a rare like Eric-less episode. We've seen Lucy-less episodes, but an Eric-less episode is very rare.
So interesting.
It might be the only one in history.
I think so.
In its 11 years, it might be the first time there's like a no Eric in the episode.
Even whenever he was having a heart attack, he was in every fucking scene.
Yeah, singing, you know,
Elvis.
Elvis songs. Let's not relive that nightmare.
Yeah, never again.
So that's that. I want to save the Sandy moment
please.
for a little bit later because, frankly, that's my favorite part of this
Thank you.
episode.
I said she's boss.
Yes. I am here for everything she says is correct as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
So, meanwhile, okay, Ruthie and T-Bone, they're making out hard. Mac is like, okay, well, I'll just go wait for Annie, like, in the kitchen because he's trying to, like, stay here with the Camdens because he has nowhere to go kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so they're like too busy making out. So he's like, I'm going to go wait over there, you know? And they continue to make out. And T-Bone's like, whoa, buddy, like, where is this? Like, what the hell? And she goes, well, maybe I'm tired of making out. Like, maybe I want to do more. And she puts it on him. She's like, you've XXX'd before, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, have you? And then she goes, I was living in Scotland for 6 months, away from my parents, away from my family. What do you think? And in my mind, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So you didn't, though?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
there's not a chance in hell
No.
Ruthie has had sex.
No.
Not a fucking chance. No, like, nothing she says can make me be convinced otherwise.
Exactly.
So he's like, okay, well then tonight, like, let's make it happen. She goes, okay. So T-Bone immediately freaks out.
Of course.
And runs to the worst person in the fucking world that he could run to, which is Kevin.
Yep.
Fuck Kevin. Once again, this little misogynist piece of shit. T-Bone sits down. He's like, Ruthie's had me pinned down for 2 hours. My lips are numb, you know, whatever. And Kevin does that stupid thing where he's like, you better watch your mouth. That's my sister you're talking about. And he's like, okay, well, I'm freaking out because I think we're close to the danger zone or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And Kevin's like, what now? Like, you better not be, because Eric will kill you and I will kill you and you will be out of that house faster than you can say condom or whatever, you know? And T-Bone's like, okay, well, like, what do I do? Like, what the hell, you know? And Kevin gives him the advice that, like, oh, yeah, this is all because, like, you're going to be emancipated soon. And she's obviously feeling very clingy and she doesn't want, you know, you being emancipated represents you, like, being free and going out on your own. And she doesn't want you to do that because she's attached to you. So why don't you just, like, let her know that you're interested in more than just making out?
Yeah.
And T-Bone's like, what? And he's like, that came out wrong. Things other than making out.
Yeah.
like, why don't you take her to a dinner, just the two of you, and like, you know, go for a long walk and whatever. And stupid fucking T-Bone like takes his advice because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know that Kevin's a total fucking fuck up.
Uh-huh.
And of course he has to get one last misogynistic comment in there because he's like, just talk to her. Women love to talk. That's why I was so excited to have the house to myself for a day. I'm like, because you're a garbage person who hates your wife, clearly. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you're saying these things to an impressionable 17-year-old boy who's learning from you, who's taking advice from you, Kevin. Do you hear yourself? Do you fucking hear yourself?
Yeah, and he likes it.
He's such... Oh, T. Thank God that's all Kevin has to say in this whole episode. Because, like, honestly, 2 more scenes of that and I would have killed myself. Like, not today, honey. So T-Bone's like, okay, and cut 2, he's talking to Happy. He's debriefing with Happy about, did you see how she reacted when I told her I just want to take her to a nice dinner, it's just the two of us? The movie. And Happy barks, and then he's like, you don't think like that, or, you know, I don't know what conversation T-Bone thinks he's having with Happy.
Yeah.
But the shitty part is like Annie overhears it all. So she overhears T-Bone saying things like, I'm a man in love. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, like, this is natural. We're, you know, whatever, all that shit. And she immediately is like, can I help you with anything, T-Bone?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a good listener.
Yeah, maybe a little too good.
Yeah, because that's the thing too, is like, you think she's caught on.
Yeah.
You think from overhearing T-Bone talking to Happy that she's already pieced the pieces together.
Yeah.
But it's not until Mac is talking to her or Kevin's talking to her later.
Yeah.
When she realized, because Kevin says something to her about how T-Bone had a talk with him and stuff. And then Annie's like, hold on, they're thinking about having sex in my house tonight?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought you knew that, Annie. What the hell? Like, so what did you think T-Bone was talking about outside 15 minutes ago?
The show.
What? What?
Yeah. All of that.
Question mark.
Because you're seeing her catch on, but not catch on. And the thinking process. Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God.
Wait, T-Bone said he's in love. Wait, tonight. Wait, Ruthie. Oh my God.
Yes. Enough.
Yeah.
Really enough.
It's bad. So then Kevin confronts Ruthie, right?
Yeah.
And they have that whole talk where he's like, you know, you're too young. Wait until you're in like a committed relationship, or at least you're older, or you're out of high school or something.
Yeah.
You know? And Ruthie's like, oh, and then he also says something to the effect of like, you know, what did you think was going to happen? That I wasn't going to tell your mom, or, you know, whatever kind of thing. And she's like, God damn it. Like, I'll tell my mom. Like, what do you think? I'm scared of you? Like, I'm not like your threats are going to keep me from telling my mom, like, or stopping me from doing what I want to do. Like, I'm a grown ass woman. I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
Exactly.
And so she's like doubling down, right, with Kevin. She's like, I'll tell my mom. Fine.
Yeah.
You think you're going to threaten me by telling my mom? I'll tell my mom, whatever, right? She has no intention of telling her mom.
Of course not.
But then she's pissed at T-Bone because T-Bone calls her.
Yeah.
She's pissed at T-Bone because now because T-Bone having told Kevin is what's forcing her hand to tell her mom.
Exactly.
Which she really had no intention of doing. And so she's yelling at T-Bone like, are you insane? Why'd you tell Kevin anything?
You have a big mouth.
And she's like, why should they dictate what we want to do? Or like, we're adults, act like a man, blah, blah, blah. And T-Bone, in a move that is pretty risky for honestly, he's like, well, how's this for being a man? I was going to ask if you didn't have any condoms because I'll pick some up on the way home.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have condoms. Which, does she? There's no chance in hell. She might, though. I could see her having gone to the grocery store, the pharmacy, and picked some up.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Yeah. Maybe. It seems like a Ruthie move to be all like, I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm going to buy some condoms.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe.
But then Annie overhears her saying, I have condoms.
Yeah.
So she's like, sounds like we need to talk.
Yeah. And they talk it out over popcorn.
Which T-Bone comes home and overhears them talking.
Yeah.
Hears just enough to know that Ruthie lied about having had sex. But then goes running into the arms of Kevin again.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I needed a place to go because they're having a serious conversation over there.
Yeah.
And then Kevin reminds him that, like, you know, Eric's gonna find out about this.
Yeah.
And it's not like, what's gonna happen? And T-Bone's like, what do you mean Eric's gonna find out about it? And Kevin's like, I know the Camdens. Ruthie will tell him if Annie doesn't first.
Yeah.
Which, good call on Kevin, because that's definitely true.
Yes.
Definitely a Ruthie move to for her dad to just walk in and her to go running and be like, I almost had sex.
Yeah. God. So weird.
That is so Ruthie.
Yeah.
And so then T-Bone downs the orange soda that Kevin is drinking, which it's a subtle thing. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the fact that Kevin is like late night going into his fridge, opening a bottle of orange soda and drinking it as he's having this like man-to-man conversation with T-Bone. The insinuation there is like, it would be a beer, except they don't drink because they're snow globe people, right?
Yeah.
And so what? Soda's better than a beer? Fucking orange soda in the middle of the night, and T-Bone's downing it like, oh, I need this vice right now.
Seriously.
Like, what kind of message is that? Like, even in the episode before, we didn't talk about it, but like when Lucy's clearing out the fridge of expired items, there's like 3 giant 2 liters of soda in their fridge.
Yeah.
Like, how much soda are these people drinking?
I know. Who needs that kind of soda?
They're going to die of diabetes before they die of a liver disease. Like, Jesus Christ.
True. Yeah.
Ugh, nightmare. So I just wanted to bring that up because it was a subtle thing.
Yeah.
But it was clearly the intention of like, yeah, I need a drink, you know, but it's like orange soda. Okay.
Yeah. That's his vice.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Yeah, which that's worse, honestly. So that's how that ends, pretty much, right?
Right? Yeah.
Basically, they don't do it.
They don't do it. Annie and Ruthie do talk it out.
Yes. We learn that Ruthie hasn't
ready.
had sex because she's not ready, because even though the opportunity has presented itself in Scotland and stuff, ultimately she knew it was the wrong thing to do, so she never went through with it.
And she can't enjoy anything she thinks is wrong.
Right.
And then that's when Annie's like, fuck, I raised you right.
Yeah,
Annie's
that's my girl.
She's like, okay.
Ugh. And the final scene, which is a little wonky because it interjects with Sandy, but essentially that night, T-Bone comes home from Kevin's. She's in the kitchen. Sandy goes up to bed, and it's just the 2 of them in the kitchen, and they like run to each other because they're so fucking horny. You know?
And they just make out.
They make out hard, and then they stop, and T-Bone's like, you know, this is as far as we'll go. And she's like, I know. And they keep kissing. Which, it was cute. I like that they're so like hot for each other. You know?
It's
like,
cute.
It's a good portrayal of like 17-year-old love, where it's like hot and heavy, and like they can't get enough of each other, and it feels like making out's not enough, you know, and it only takes like some outside forces to like stop you, kind of a thing.
Basically.
You know?
Yeah, it was cute.
It was.
That part was cute. Everything else, bleh.
So meanwhile, right, Sandy is
oh my God, there's so much chatter in this episode, because like the more when I think about us breaking this shit down, fuck, okay, let's go.
But okay, I mean, it's not that bad though, right? So before we get to Sandy, we got to get to Mac and Martin.
Now you remember.
That's right. Oof. Okay, so Annie comes home, right? Mac's waiting for her in the kitchen.
Oh God, Annie's throwback was so good.
What was the
in
throwback?
This to Mac? When Martin comes in and like they know Jane's going to be the one in the middle, so Big Lips in the middle between.
Oh my God,
Lucy.
I know, and she brings up Big Lips. Oh,
and she goes, favorite. Big Lips. She's like, nah, I'm not doing it again. So good.
Like, I know where this goes.
Yep.
I'm not going to get in the middle of it. So Mac's talking to her in graphic detail about why he needs to stay here because his parents are humping like bunnies.
Okay, ew.
And Annie's like, well, listen, I can't promise you anything because Eric's not here and we have to make this decision together. But for now, I can say, like, yeah, you can have the couch, not a big deal for one night or whatever until we can make a decision about you. And Mac's like, cool, whatever. We learn that Martin's coming down because he's going to be, quote unquote, babysitting Aaron. Don't get me started. I've said this before on this podcast. It's not babysitting when it's your own kid.
Yeah.
So Martin's coming to pick up Mac, and then they're going to go to the church where Aaron is with Sandy and pick up Aaron, and then they're going to like hang out or whatever. You know, Martin's babysitting.
Yeah.
But then Jane and Margaret come on the scene. And the minute that Jane comes in, Mac is smitten.
Yeah, he's in love.
He sees her. He's like, did we go to high school together? I would have remembered you, blah, blah, blah. Jane could not care less. Like, she's not here for it. Then Margaret comes in, and Annie has to do that thing of like, Margaret, Jane, this is Mac, Martin's friend, although you've never even met Martin, so that's pointless, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Again, connecting the dots out loud. Like, who cares?
I know them. You don't have to, don't explain it to them.
Right. Just be like, Jane, Mac, Jane, done.
Bye.
End of story. Who gives a shit?
Fuck.
Yeah, like, who is this for? The audience member that just randomly turned on 7th Heaven for the first time
I know
after
the
11
story.
years?
Damn it. Anyways, okay, go on.
So Mac's all about Jane. Could not give a shit about Margaret anymore or less than anything. And then he is like, oh, do you guys want to go out tonight, kind of a thing? Like the three of us, we can talk about whatever, and or like talk about finding a place to live or some shit. And Annie's like, isn't Martin coming to get you or whatever? And he's like, well, it could be a foursome. It could be the four of us, double date, whatever. And Jane's like, not interested. And then Martin comes in and she's like, interested.
Yeah. Martin? Oh, okay. I'm going to go get my bag.
And Margaret's like a bump on a log. Bye.
Bye.
I love that Margaret, like, has no horse in this race. Like, nobody's interested in Margaret. She clearly doesn't care about either of the boys either.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She's just tagging along because Jane's there, kind of thing. And Martin's also into Jane. Like, when they see each other, he's like, okay, yeah. So they got to go pick up Aaron. And so now we can cut over to Sandy. So Sandy's talking to the girls, and they're asking her all these questions about,
are you and Martin going to get married?
Well, more importantly, they're asking her questions about, like, what's it like being a single mom?
Yeah.
Right? And, aren't you afraid to do things alone?
Yeah,
or aren't you ashamed or embarrassed? Like, it's so embarrassing to do anything alone because people are just looking at you like you're a freak or whatever.
Yeah.
And Sandy says the thing that's, like, the best thing she says the whole episode, which is, like, I've always thought that if you don't feel comfortable being by yourself, like, you're not ever going to be comfortable, like, being with anybody, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be comfortable with yourself first.
Yeah.
To, like, know who you are and, like, trust that and stuff. And they're all like, oh, but, like, ew, like, you eat dinner alone. And she's like, yeah, I'll go to the movies alone. I'll have dinner alone. It's nice to spend time with me. Like, it's important for me, Meanwhile, the whole time she's, like, carrying Aaron,
Yeah.
And then they start asking her questions about Martin and stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, like we're working it out. We've talked about getting married. Like, he's in my life, kind of a thing, and he's in Aaron's life, whatever."
Yeah.
And they're like, blah 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 blah. And then Martin comes in, and they all collectively breathe a sigh of like, because they were all jazzed. And they even make a comment, like, of one of the girls is like, oh my God, he's coming. It's going to be so nice to see him with his son.
Yeah.
Like that romanticized thing of like, oh, see, what a good man. He's taking care of his son. Like, please. That's like the baseline minimum.
Exactly.
You should do, Like, let alone the fact that he's 12.
Yeah.
And so he picks up the boy, and it's all good, whatever. He asks, he's like, oh, is it cool if we take him to a movie? And she's like, he's a little young, but if you want to give it a shot, okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, it'll be a couple hours, whatever. And okay, not a big deal. She's staying at the Camdens that night.
Yeah.
So I'll meet you back at the Camdens type of thing. So he's leaving, and he goes, oh yeah, hey, Sandy, can I talk to you for a minute? This little bitch. Like,
seriously.
if you didn't think there was anything wrong with you, what you were doing, you wouldn't have asked for permission.
Exactly.
You little 12-year-old boy.
Yep.
Ugh. And the way he prefaces it, he's like, you and I aren't married, so it's cool if I see other people, right?
Yeah.
Like, as if that's the line that he'd be crossing. Like, marriage or nothing. What? I thought you guys were trying to make it work.
Exactly.
How do you think it's okay to be dating other people?
Yeah, I thought that they were going to try to date. I really thought that's what was supposed to happen after that conversation that they had.
Right, when they almost got married and they were like, we are not going to do this, but let's try to stay in each other's lives. Like, maybe one day. So he's like, we're not married, right? So it's cool.
If I, fuck around.
And her response, again, because she's so taken aback, she's like, yeah, Martin, we're not married. You can see other people. Like, okay. Because what's she going to say to that?
Seriously.
And he's like, cool, thanks. And walks away. And then she has a minute to think about it. And she walks out into the hall and sees Mac and the girls there.
Yeah.
And she's like, hold on. Do you have a date right now?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's not a date. It's more just like a hang. Like, we're going to go to the movies or whatever. And she just doesn't even say a word. She just takes the baby out of his arms.
Yeah.
Takes her bag and lets him go. Mm-hmm. And then she comes back in to the girls. And honestly, my heart breaks for her.
Yeah.
When she's staring at these girls. And she's like, you want to know what it's like being a single mom? This is it right here.
Yeah.
This is it right here. You are responsible for another life for 18 years at least.
Yeah.
And every decision and everything you do and say and think is about this little thing.
Yeah.
Is about this person. And it's hard. And it's, and you have to constantly take any, regrets or doubts,
ego,
or
all that
any
shit,
of it, and squash it and elevate yourself for this other person. Mm-hmm. That's the words she uses: elevate yourself for that person. I was crying.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good. Haley Duff crushes that monologue. Honestly,
she does. Yeah, I think this is the time when I would say with Haley Duff that I actually appreciated Sandy. I like Sandy, but I was like, yes, she's not playing that ditzy. And I'm sorry, but that's the vibe I was getting in all those episodes before.
With all the Daniel bullshit.
Yeah, as if she had no fucking life experience throughout this entire time. And yeah, I don't know, just hearing the is of her life. And just being factual and whatever about it. I liked it a lot.
It was some of the best writing I think maybe ever on the show. Truly, it was such an eloquent and succinct thing of this is it. Every day you got to get up, you got to clean yourself up no matter what you're feeling, what you're going through, because you have to elevate yourself for this other person who you are 100% responsible for.
Yeah.
And she had to make that decision in that moment. She's like, you know what, Martin? You go on your little date with your little girlfriends. This baby is too important for you to be fucking around.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he throws it in her face like, you did it with Daniel. And she's like, okay, not after you and I decided we were going to work it out, though.
Yeah.
So where's that end? Where's your end of that promise, guy? Martin is a child.
Yeah.
And she says as much when she's debriefing with Annie later in the kitchen. And she's just like, I think, I don't know where we're at right now, because Annie tells her that Jane's married.
Yeah.
Which Martin learns the hard way on their date,
Because of Margaret.
Yeah. Well, because Margaret sees what's happening.
And she doesn't like it.
She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Because I think part of it is a little selfish on Margaret's part, because it's like, oh, now my friend's going to be wrapped up with these guys. Where does that leave me? Kind of a thing. Maybe even subconsciously. I don't know that Margaret was coming from a bad place, you know, but I'm sure that must have been playing into why she's like, yeah, you're married though, Jane,
Yeah.
And that's when Martin's like, you're married? Whoa, okay, bye. I'm going home. And Sandy's there and she's like, you know what, Martin, I don't know.
She's like, you're full of basically, in so many words, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
But she says, like, let's just be in each other's lives. And good on her. Like,
right. Again,
great
you
on
put
her.
everything aside to elevate, right?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, their baby is what's important.
Yeah.
And she's not going to like fuck with that dynamic.
Exactly.
But she tells him, and she goes, of course, I think it would be nice for us to be a family and to get married and whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm beginning to think that's never going to happen because you are a child.
Yeah.
And you have proven that to me tonight. Because he comes running home and he's like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. She goes, you know what I think? I think you learned that she's married and now you're trying to make it work with me.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened.
Exactly.
So run along, Martin,
Yep.
with your stupid ruddy face and your stupidness.
Well,
Leave me alone. Honestly, just leave me alone.
Martin turned into the guys that we didn't like and that Martin was trying not to be.
Honestly, you're right. You're right. He's just another asshole now.
Yeah.
Or
Sucks.
maybe asshole's a harsh word, but like he's just another guy.
Yeah.
You know, who's just trying to get his dick wet. It's like, okay. So, you know what? You babysit your son then. How about?
Yeah.
You know?
Babysit your son.
Ugh. And then when Ruthie comes into the kitchen after having talked to her mom and everything, then they're having that they're now debriefing, right? And Ruthie's like, oh yeah, I mean, I just talked to my mom about my boyfriend for 2 hours or whatever. And Sandy is not giving her advice, right? But she's saying, like, from her perspective, like she's glad that nothing happened with Martin because like one mistake could change your life, or it could ruin your life, I think she says. And I think Ruthie hears that and really internalizes it. Like, you're right. Like, if I decided to sleep with T-Bone now, like, God knows what could happen, kind of a thing. Like, I'm not ready for that, so I'm not going to take a step I'm not ready for.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. Or that where the consequences are things that I'm not ready for, you know? And it's cute. And then T-Bone comes in and Sandy turns around. She's like, hi, I'm Sandy. You must be T-Bone, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of enamored by Sandy in this episode, honestly. And I think it's really unfair that Lucy's so anti-Sandy.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, Lucy's are like de facto protagonist. So if she's anti-Sandy, where does that leave the audience? You know? Because the evidence is that Sandy's a good person. And we have no reason to not like her.
Exactly.
She's going through life. She's trying to make the best decisions she can. She's being there for her son. And she's getting through school and trying to become a minister or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I have no reason to hate Sandy. So it's kind of a bummer that Lucy does, you know?
I know.
Or that Lucy's annoyed by. I shouldn't say hate.
But yeah, is
but
annoyed.
Like, annoyed because she's like, quote unquote, usurping the throne a little bit, I guess. Like, honestly, Lucy...
And especially because Lucy was very much Team Sandy for a very long time.
That's right. You made Sandy the person she is.
Yeah.
And rather than put that, dislike onto Sandy, turn that onto yourself and go, okay, how and why is Sandy connecting to these teens?
Yeah.
What can I do differently to connect to these teens
Exactly.
the way that Sandy is? Because that is your job at the end of the day, Luce. Your job is to connect with these teen girls so that you can get through to them.
Exactly.
And if you're not doing that, hating Sandy's not going to fix that problem,
I'm just annoyed at the fact that they had to give her a jealousy story again.
I know. It's like, we're over it.
Yeah.
You are a grown-ass woman. You are a mother.
Yeah.
Put your petty shit aside, girl. Yeah. But I don't know. Sandy, I think, wins this episode for me. She really does.
Yeah, she does.
She really, like, encapsulates
Yeah.
a lot of, like, good vibe type of stuff,
Yeah.
So let's rate this puppy.
Has anything else happened? Did we miss anything?
I feel like no.
Did anything happen with Eric?
No, he's out the episode.
Oh, yeah.
He and Lucy are gone.
Okay. All right. Damn. All right. Okay.
Damn. Oh, one stray observation. The hilarity of, like, this movie that they keep talking about.
Oh, yeah. This cartoon movie? What is this?
They can't stop talking about the animated love story of the year called Rocky Robin.
Yeah.
What is this movie? Everyone's talking about it. And the only people that don't want to see it are the children.
Yeah.
The twins are like, nah, we're good.
Yeah. We're adults now.
We want to stay home with you, Mommy.
Ugh.
And Annie has to be like, sometimes mommies like the house to themselves.
Yep.
Which I get. Yeah, that's my only stray observation.
Okay. So, what do you rate it?
I'm going to give this episode 3/4 thumb down and 1/4 thumb up.
I don't know how that's
This is a
possible.
new metric.
I don't know when. I don't know how. How does that happen?
What song is that?
I was singing Little Mermaid.
Oh,
But how does that...
Okay, fine. How about this? 1 thumb down and 1 sideways thumb.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Does that work?
Okay, Walking Phoenix.
Yes. That is exactly who I'm channeling right now. If only there were cameras in this room.
If only.
Yeah, because genuinely it feels wrong to give it 1 thumb up. It does. Because there's a lot of bad here.
Yeah.
There's so much bad.
I know.
And yet Sandy's like good, you know?
I know.
And I don't know. Like my gut is like, you can't give it a whole thumb up.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it 1 sideways thumb and 1 thumb down, which Ben, good luck quantifying that.
Yeah. Well, 2 thumbs down. I like Sandy and I like what she did, but it can't raise it for me.
I get it.
Because there's too
I
much,
get it.
There's too much garbage.
There is a lot of garbage in this episode.
It could all be thrown away.
I disagree. I don't know that it can all be thrown away. I think it's somewhat important to like the fabric of the show, you know?
God.
Because think about what they've set up here. Now they've set up a dynamic between Mac and the girls.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
They've set up a dynamic of Sandy in the church.
Yeah.
They've set up a dynamic between Ruthie and T-Bone potentially continuing to grow their relationship and maybe eventually crossing that threshold.
Yeah.
There's a lot of setup here, which I think is not for nothing, you know?
Okay.
Again, not to negate your rating.
No.
You give it 2 thumbs down. You do you, girl.
I give it 2 thumbs way down. Way down.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. I think that's going to do it for us.
I think so.
Yeah. You know where to find us on the social medias. We're on Patreon at patreon.com/4 Heaven's Sake Pod. And don't forget to send in those emails, y'all. We want to hear from you guys.
The questions, any thoughts, anything you guys want us to talk about that we haven't touched on.
Any like things that like we just missed completely, like in our examining of the show. We're looking at you, Cheryl and Bruce. Yeah, we want to hear from you guys, and we're gonna do something special with all that for our last episode.
Definitely.
But until next time, bye.
Bye.